Okay guys, so welcome to our video. So this time we're gonna talk about the concept of derivative. Okay, so paano ba kinukuha? Ano ba? What's the point or what's the essence of getting the derivative? Okay, so before we start with the derivative, let's have a brief review or parang short review ng yung mathematics in the modern world. Tingnan natin. So dito, if you see here guys, so I have here etong red line sa straight line. Di ba? That is, naka-plot siya sa x and y coordinates natin. Okay. What if I want to find out the slope of this line? Okay. How do you find the slope? So, simple lang naman, di ba? So, review lang naman to. To find the slope, we need to get 2 points, di ba? You say ito yung point 1, point 2. Then, of course, what you do? So, you create a triangle, di ba? So, this is your delta x, tama? This is your change in y, di ba? Itong part na to. Then, how do you get the slope? Slope is equals to your change in y over your change in x, or your rise over run. Tama? So, you remember that concept, guys? So, that's how you get the slope of a straight line. Tama? At, ang unique sa straight line, by the way, guys, is kahit saan ka kumuha dito ng points within the line, if you use this equation to solve for the slope, what you get is the same. So, all throughout yan. So, kahit kumuha ka dito, so basta 2 points, then kunin mo yung slope niyan, same slope dito yan. So, kahit dito pa, ayan, everywhere, dito sa line, constant yung slope na makukuha mo. So, that's how the slope of a line works. Tama? Okay. Let's now take this special case. What if curve naman? How do you find the slope of a curve? So, enough. So, in this case, dito tayo sa part na to. So, dito sa straight line, so madali lang. Kasi kahit saan ka kumuha ng points, basta dalawang magkasunod na points, you get the slope of those 2 points, same lang. Diba? E what if sa curve naman? So, dito, hindi na applicable yung same slope. Bakit? Kasi kung papansin niyo guys, pag kumuha ka ng point dito, anywhere on this slope or tong curve natin, which is, let's say, function of x. So, we assign this curve as a function of x, okay? So, anywhere, pag kumuha ka dyan, any point, iba ang slope niyan. O, let's say, you want to get the slope exactly at this point. So, kumuha tayo ng point. We get a point along this curve. Itong point na to. At ang gusto nating malaman, what is the slope at this specific point? Paano gagawin natin? So, we cannot use directly this concept. So, what can we do? So, sabi ni Newton, so Sir Isaac Newton devised a way. How can you find, gusto niya kasing malaman, ito yung nag-interest sa kanya, parang nag-fuel sa kanya to devise derivative or to create this concept or this theory. Sabi niya, I can find the slope at this specific point if I can pass a tangent line. So, review lang ulit guys ha. So, let's say ito yung tangent line mo. And how do you define a tangent line? So, a tangent line is a line that passes to your curve at only one point. Diba? So, ito tangent line to. Yeah, tangent line. Okay? So, ang idea niya, if I can create or I can pass a tangent line passing at this point and I find the slope of the tangent line. So, pag nakuha ko yung slope nito, di ba ito straight line? So, makukuha ko yung slope nito by using this formula. Tama? So, after getting the slope, of course, kung ano yung makukuha kong slope ng tangent line, yun yung slope dito at this point. That's the idea of Newton. So, yun yung kanyang idea ng slope. And of course, ang problem niyan, let's say, I get a point on this one. So, of course, pag kinuha ko yung slope ulit niyan, tangent line, so magkaiba, diba? I pass a tangent line. So, yung slope nito, magkaiba sa slope dito, tama? So, ito medyo pataas to, diba? Then ito medyo pa baba na konti. So, yun yung problema. So, anywhere I pick a point dun sa function na to, dito sa curve mo, magkakaiba yung slope niyan. At mahirap kunin. So, sabi ni Newton, how can I find the point instantaneously or biglaan? Let's say, kahit saan ako pumili ng points dyan, makukuha ko yung derivative ng madali lang. So, doon papasok yung concept ng derivative. So, derivative kasi guys is the concept of finding the slope of the tangent line. So, tandaan nyo yun ha. So, the concept of derivative is finding the slope of the tangent line. Ayan. So, ayan yung concept ng derivative. Finding the slope of the tangent line at a point. At a point. Ayan. So, that's how you get the idea of a tangent line. So, finding the slope of the tangent line at a point. Yun. So, that's a concept ng derivative. So, now, anong ginawa ni Newton? So, punta tayo dito ngayon sa mas malaking graph. So, sabi niya, let's say, eto, I have here, let's say, point P, and ito yung ating point of interest. So, sabi ni Newton, how can I find the slope at this point? So, of course, if I can pass a tangent line. So, gawa tayo ng tangent line. Passing at point P. Ayan. Ayan, tangent line natin. Okay. Sabi niya, I can find the slope at point P if I can find the slope of the tangent line. Tanong, what is the formula for a line? Di ba? O line equation. So, y minus y1 is equals to slope of the tangent line, since tangent line to, itong line na to, x minus x of 1. Ito ngayon, what is the problem by using this formula ng line equation? So, ano yung magiging problema natin dito? What do you think, guys? So, magiging problem natin dito ay how many points do you need? So, you need to at least to have 2 points. Tama? Ilan lang yung point natin, di ba? Isa lang. So, that's why, sabi ni Newton, I have to find another point. Let's say, pipili ako ng point along this curve, which is function of x. Di ba? So, pili ako dito, somewhere here. Let's say ito. This is point Q. So, gagawin ko, i-connect ko siya. I'll connect these 2 points. Point P and point Q. So, medyo bitin ang aking Anyway. So, abot. So, adjust nyo na lang yan. Anyway. So, if I can create a line, ayan, which is passing at these 2 points, ayan. Of course, hindi na yan tangent line, tama ba? Kasi tangent line kasi ito, a line that passes at a curve at only 1 point. Since dalawang points na yung tinamaan ng line na to, ano na yan? So, this is what you call your secant line. Ayan. So, secant line na yan. Itong line na to. Okay? So, ayan. So, sabi ni Newton, I can approximate your tangent line by, so, anong gagawin ni Newton? If I will move point Q closer and closer, palapit ng palapit to point P. So, yun. Since kailangan ko ng 2 points Tama? So, ito lang naman yung magbibigay sa akin ng 2 points. So, if I can find the slope of the secant line, I can approximate the slope of the tangent line. So, ang target mo, makuha yung slope ng secant line. Since dalawang points yan, point P and point Q. So, makukuha mo yung slope niyan. So, ang ano lang yan is, we need to approximate. So, paano yun? So, gagawin natin, ang dinivise ni Newton, I'll move point Q closer, closer, and closer. Let's say, from this point, minove natin yung point Q dito. Then, draw natin. Let's draw a line passing at these 2 points. So, still secant line pa rin yan, guys. Mind you. So, connect natin. Yun. Diba? So, gumalaw na yung line mo. From this line, gumalaw na siya na konti. Mas malapit pa. Let's say ito. Ito na yung point Q mo. From here, dito, tsaka dito. Connect mo ulit. Let's connect these points. Okay. So, napapansin nyo guys, di ba nag-move yung line? Unti-unti. Closer pa. Mas malapit. O, mas malapit pa. Ito. Ayun. Kung napapansin nyo guys, as you move point Q closer and closer to point P, yung secant line mo, di ba nagiging tangent line siya approximately? So, it means, that's what you call your derivative. So, as you move your secant line approximately, unti-unti until ma-reach na yung point P. So, ayun yung concept on how to get a derivative. Pero, sabi ni Newton, what if gusto kong malaman yung point instantaneously, or ang tinatawag nating the rate of change. Instantaneous, instantaneous, pa-check na lang spelling, instantaneous, ayan, rate of change, ayan, or the instantaneous rate of change. What if I want to find out the slope at a specific point? Diba, dito sa point na to, biglaan, gusto ko malaman ano yung x value niyan at ano yung y value. What is the slope? You say dito. So, of course, hindi naman natin pwedeng gawin diba, lagi yung ganyang klase ng estimation. So, we need a formula that is instantaneously can find the slope at these given points. Which is yun yung pinaka-concept ng derivative. Kasi applicable yan, guys. So, ano bang application yan, guys, sa real world? Sa science. So, let's say, itong curve na to is let's say, kotse. Nag-travel ka from, let's say, from Naga to Quezon. Ito yung takbo mo. Let's say, itong x-axis mo, time to. Ito, time, represents time. And yung y-axis mo is your speed. So, gusto mong malaman ngayon, at instantaneously, at time, let's say, 1 seconds. Let's say ito, 1 seconds. Gusto mo malaman yung speed mo at 1 second. What is your speed? That's instantaneous. What if I want to find out the speed ng kotse at 2 seconds? Say 2 seconds dito. What is the speed? So, dyan papasok yung concept ng derivatives. So, finding the instantaneous rate of change anywhere on the point dito sa curve natin. Let's say itong curve na to represents the motion of your car as you travel from Naga to Quezon. So, ayan. So, of course, pag punta nyo ng physics, say, if you're taking physics now, mas maintindihan nyo lalo to. What is the application of this one? Okay? So, let's try to derive. So, ayan, punta tayo sa derivation ngayon. How do you derive the equation of the instantaneous or the derivative rate or the instantaneous rate of change na dinivise ni Newton? So, let's try to derive. So, let's say, balik tayo. Ang interest natin yung point P. Say, point P. Ito kanina. Say, this is point P. Then, sabi ni Newton, I can create, I can find the slope at this point if I can create a second line. So, let's say, kuha tayo another point. Let's say, point Q. Diba? Of course, this curve represents, let's say, your function of x. Tama? Okay. So, let's name a coordinates. Let's say, itong point P, di ba, meron niyang x, let's say, x value na lang or x coordinate. Tama? Then, itong point Q, say, point Q, of course, pag pinroject natin yan sa x-axis, so, may corresponding x value yan. But, of course, since hindi naman nating alam tong exact length nito, so, pwedeng 2 units yan, 3 units, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. So, how can we find this distance or this point? How can we name this point? So, pwede nating i-name as point na yan as, let's say, this distance from here until here, pwedeng delta x. So, yun na lang muna. Arbitrarily, we can name this distance delta x. So, what is your coordinates here? The x plus delta x. So, clear tayo? So, saan galing yung x na to, sir? Paano nakuha yan? Ito yan, x, di ba? From your origin, x yan. Since delta x to, so x plus delta x. So, yun yun. So, clear? So, now, what will be your corresponding value dito? So, pag pinroject natin. So, if it is x, kung ito ay x, ito ay function of x. Di ba? Hindi ba mas ganun kasimple lang? Di ba, if you're going to study functions, and how about at point Q? So, what is your y value? So, this is your f function of x plus delta x. Tama? So, now, since na-name na natin yan, so what can we do? So, of course, we can pass a secant line. So, drawing natin yung secant line muna. So, drawing natin yan. Let's draw the secant line. Ayan. Ayan. So, by drawing your secant line, so of course, since secant line yan, you can create a slope, di ba? So, applicable yung concept ng slope dito, which is yung delta x over delta y. So, pwede yan, since line naman yan eh. So, this distance is your delta x. Tama? Ito yung delta x. And how about this one? It is your delta y. Diba? Diba slope? Slope nitong secant line. So, how do you find now? So, by applying the slope of the secant line is equals to, same ba lang? Diba? Delta y over delta x, diba? Delta y, which is, let's say, 0.1 to. This is 0.2. Delta y is y's of 2 minus y's of 1. So, what is your y's of 2? Diba ito? Y's of 2 is your function of x plus delta x minus y's of 1, f of x. Diba? All over delta x. Delta x is x minus 2 minus x of 1. So, ano yung x of 2 mo? Diba ito? X plus delta x minus your x of 1, which is ito, yung point P, x. Clear? Then, kung mapansin natin, may magka-cancel. So, cancel out tong x na to, tsaka to. So, may nangyayari na lang dyan ay ito. The slope of your secant line is equals to function of x plus delta x minus function of x all over delta x na lang. Tama? So, tapos na ba? Hindi pa. So, sabi ko nga kanina, ang concern natin, para makuha natin yung slope at this specific point, which is point P, we need to approximate your secant line. Diba? Ang point Q natin, i-move natin siya unti-unti until point P. And of course, para mas mabilis, para ma-move natin ng mabilis, ang gagawin na sa delta x, diba ito yung delta x natin, this distance from this point to this point is delta x. So, of course, papaliitin mo yan, diba? So, pag gumalaw yung point Q, dito, imagine mo, gumagalaw din yung delta x mo, papaliit. So, gagawin natin, we let your delta x approaches 0. Diba? So, pwedeng 0.01. So, dito papasok yung concept of limits. So, i-apply na natin yung limits na pinag-aralan natin. Which is, yung delta x mo, of course, hindi siya pwedeng mag-0. Exactly 0. Bakit? Kasi mag-undefined yan. Di ba? Pag exactly 0. Pero pwede siya maging 0.0001. Pwedeng 0.001. Di ba? It doesn't matter. So, ang gagawin natin, so by applying the concept of limit, so take the limit both sides. So, the limit of your secant line as delta x approaches 0 is equals to the limit of your function of x plus delta x minus function of x over delta x as x approaches 0. Of course, ano to? This one is your derivative already. That's your dy over dx equals to this one. The limit of your function, this function as x approaches 0. So yun. So the limit of or delta x approaches 0. So function of x plus delta x minus function of x over delta x. So this is your equation of your derivative. Diba? So that's how Newton derived the concept of derivative. So by using this concept. Okay? So what are the notations, sir, ng derivatives? Ano yung mga commonly used na notations? So, let's go now. So usually, yung mga ginagamit niyan, guys, is ito. Commonly used notations ng derivative. So y prime. Ayan. So ano pa? F prime of x, f prime, or dy over dx, or your derivative of y with respect to x. So, yun yung mga yun yung mga usually ginagamit na notations if you're going to get the derivative of your function. So, ito, y prime, then f prime of x, and dy over dx. So, pag nakita kayo niyan, it means derivative. Okay? So, yun. So, sir, how can we get the derivative? So, paano ba pagkuha ng long method niya? So, this is a long method, guys, by the way. So, this is how Newton get the derivative during his time. Ayan. So, long method. Okay, so, step 1. So, ito yung first step. So, apat na step lang naman to, guys. So, we just have to follow this 4-step rule. Una, so, in finding the derivative of a function, so first, you substitute x plus delta x for x and y delta y for y, and y is equals to your function of x, or dun sa given mo. Sa given function, ito yun, given function. Okay? Number 2, you subtract y is equals to function of x from the result of step 1 to obtain delta y in terms of x and delta x. Then number 3, perform algebra. So first dito, sabi ko nga, you need a strong background sa algebra kasi mag-algebra kayo. Then, divide both sides by delta x. So after algebraic manipulation. So divide both sides ng equation by delta x. Then lastly, find the limit as delta x approaches 0. Iba yung huling ginawa natin. So yun. This is your 4-step rule in finding the derivative, guys. So, on our next video, so yung mga, para mas ma-appreciate nyo itong steps na to, so papakita natin to step by step in solving some examples, okay? So, for now, so medyo napahaba yung video natin since foundation kasi ito eh. So, since engineering students tayo, so you need at least a know-how or parang idea kung paano ba na-derive yung equation. So, yun. But of course, kung ayaw nyo ng derivation, so pwedeng gamitin nyo directly yung formula. Okay, so okay lang naman yan. Okay? So, yun lang guys. So, thank you for watching this video. So, standby na lang kayo for our next video. Thank you.